Sutton, Sutton, Sutton. It's all about you, girl. And does Denise finally spit out what she was mumbling about to Erika? Let's see how this plays out this week on our recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Thankfully, we get some continuity and pick up with the weed dinner at the beginning of this week's episode. Kyle tells Sutton and the rest of the dinner table that she's had conversations with Faye about what she's been going through. She's depressed and can't afford to feel that way right now. Sutton looked stunned when Kyle said she was depressed. It might have been the first time she knew that's how Kyle was feeling, or it could also be the sting of knowing that Kyle didn't feel comfortable fully sharing what she was going through. Sutton is basically now realizing that she's not as close of friends with Kyle as she thinks she is. What was with Denise at this dinner? She's slurring her words. She seems confused. She has had such a decline. What happened? Her face also feels like it's falling, like her mouth is constantly downturned. On last week's episode, before they got to the dinner table, Denise claimed she doesn't smoke weed, except for twice with someone. So is this drunkenness? Is this something other than weed? I'm not sure what we're seeing here. I am actually really glad Erika handled Denise trying to come at her the way that she did. She did not even flinch when Denise was coming at her with this cloud of confusion. I love the fact that even the chef didn't know what was going on with Denise.
Dude, Denise Richards is dumb.
Okay, then what was with Sutton pulling out the joint and smoking at the dinner table? She refused to have any weed infused into her food, but she can pull out a joint and smoke in front of everyone? I kind of think that's rude. She's just blowing smoke around. Why? Sometimes Sutton is reserved and prudish like her behavior at Magic Mike, and then sometimes she's over the top and you wonder what's going on with her. I still feel like Kyle is trying to goad Sutton into saying something specifically is wrong with her marriage. I don't think Sutton knows of anything specific going on. She just knows that things are off and Kyle is compensating for something. Kyle keeps saying things have been bad between her and Mauricio over the last year. Like she's trying to bring attention to that, but doing it in a vague way. But when Sutton calls attention to it directly to Kyle in a vague way, it's a problem. We get an intro to Anne-Marie Wiley and all the reasons why Kyle thinks they make great friends.
Anna Marie and I are both working moms. We have a lot in common. We're both competitive and love to work out. We live right down the street from each other.
And we have weird things in common. Like, my birthday is the same as her mom's birthday. We have the same surgeon.
She's very strong and opinionated, and I love that about her.
Kyle just needs a new friend she can trash talk to about the other ladies. She doesn't seem to be as connected to them as she was when the whole Fox Force 5 thing was happening. Kyle's looking for new allies and new connections. It also doesn't hurt that Anne-Marie brings additional diversity to the show. Garcelle, Sutton, Crystal, and Denise meet up for a little get-together and they debrief Kyle's weed dinner. Denise seems much more coherent. Her hair isn't ratty. She looks more put together. You know, there's life back in her eyes. Total opposite to what she looked like at the dinner.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So we find out that the thing Denise was trying to tell Erika that she had an issue with was a few years ago when Denise was a housewife on the show, Erika was talking about threesomes with Denise's kids at a table nearby where they could hear the conversation. How was Erika supposed to know that was the issue Denise had with the incoherent, vague, undetailed way Denise was bringing it up? I'm sure she's going to be embarrassed when she watches herself this season. Next, we got a little bit of Kim Richards in this episode. So Kim seems to still be a little kooky, but I think that's just a part of her personality. We learned she's been drawing murals on walls at her home, which is her prerogative, but that's the way she coped with things during the pandemic. Like, why not have some canvases delivered to you so you can paint on them if you don't want to leave your home? Why do them on your actual walls? Apparently, Kim became a recluse and Van Gogh'd her house. I think the scene was to show that Kyle is on good terms with one of her sisters, following Sutton's comment about her being on the outs with both her sisters. It seems like at this point in the show, Kyle and Kathy are still not speaking, which means that Kyle is being kept at arm's length from Kathy's kids, Paris and Nikki, which is unfortunate because Paris at that point just had her first child, and it seems that message wasn't relayed directly to Kyle. Kyle's daughters are still on speaking terms with them, but Kathy is definitely icing Kyle out. So that probably made Sutton's comment hurt even more. On the next episode, Sutton has a party to celebrate her store still being in business, and it looks like Anne-Marie raises her Team Kyle flag and has a bit of a confrontation with Sutton. Also, Crystal gets in the mix, and by spilling the beans on what Kyle and Dorit said about Sutton's drinking habits. Once again, the next episode is going to center around Sutton. I would be surprised if she's not sitting next to Andy when the reunion pops off at the end of the season. 7 episodes in, and Sutton has been front and center every time. That's it for this week. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch up next week. Bye.